We now have the pleasure to be joined by Jo Ellen Roseman, Director of Project 2061 of the American Association for the Advancement of Science, or known also as AAAS. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
So tell us, what is the new curriculum published by the AAAS and NSTA for middle school students?
So this is the curriculum. It's designed for middle school students. It is intended to move them from physical science ideas to life science ideas toward high school biology.
Okay. So I also understand that you actually tested the unit to find out what students learned. Can you tell me a little bit about that? I find that fascinating.
So the details can be found in this paper, which is available free online. But the bottom line is students in a randomly assigned study, the ones that were using the curriculum, significantly outperformed the students using business as usual curriculum, number one. And not only did they learn more, they were much more inclined to abandon common misconceptions that we find that not only K through 12 students, but university students and adults have. Okay. So that work has been published, and for those interested, they can see the details.
Okay. And how does this new resource support the next generation in science standards and integrate all three dimensions as science learning?
So the first thing, which is central to NGSS, is you start with observations of nature, in other words, phenomena. Okay. So with the physical science, which begins, students observe 3 chemical reactions, all right? One would be iron rusting.
Okay.
Another is the reaction between baking soda and vinegar that produces, among other things, bubbling and carbon dioxide gas. And the third one is the formation of nylon thread, all right? So for each of these reactions, students observe the stuff, right? And except for the nylon reaction, which is dangerous, which they see on video, they observe the stuff that you start with, that you end with. They then move to looking at data cards that have the properties of these various substances. And they say, well, we start with this and we end with this. Okay? Can show that oxygen was used, all right? Now they said, well, how in the world do we get from this to this? So we show them the composition of the molecules. And when students lay the molecular structures and they notice, oh, there's iron and oxygen atoms over here, and there's iron and oxygen atoms over here, the same atoms at the beginning and at the end. So now we said, well, how could that happen? Because they're certainly not arranged in the same way. So now we have them build models, initially Legos, of the iron and the oxygen gas. And now we turn over the mat to indicate and a chemical reaction occurred.
Okay.
And now they rearrange these to form the products. And what they find is that we didn't need any extra Legos. We used them all, so matter is conserved as it rearranges. So we do the same thing with Legos for the baking soda and vinegar, and then we have to switch to ball and sticks for the nylon formation. And so the kids are starting with the 2 reactants, which are clear colorless liquids, but when they mix, they layer, and out comes nylon thread. So now they model how that could happen, and it's a polymerization reaction. So they do the polymerization reaction. That concludes the physical science. Now, why do we do nylon formation? And the point is that we're going to biological growth, and biological growth is about building polymers. Not nylon, but cellulose to make plants and proteins to make animals. So we go through the same process now from physical to life science, seeing that all that's involved is atoms rearranged during chemical reactions.
You know, I didn't have such a good teacher in school. Maybe I should go back to school. Very good. It's been a pleasure having you here with us. Thank you so much, Jo Ellen Roseman, Director of Project 2061 of the AAAS.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us and for the chemistry and science class that you just gave us. Thank you.